Right, hi, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to speak about, obviously last 3 months I've been in a relationship with someone who's heterosexual, and I myself am an asexual, and a lot of things have, um, especially recently, and like now that the relationship is starting to become more real and closer every time, I meet my girlfriend and see her. Um, it's become like more real. Like at first, it was still kind of a surreal thing. I'd never been in that scenario before, never had a relationship, etc. And the whole thing just seemed like it wasn't real, basically. And now that it's becoming more real, and I'm discovering more stuff, um, you got to understand that whilst I'm the minority, and she always tries to understand more and more about me being asexual and being a bit different. I'm in the same boat. I've still, I'm this, just because I'm a minority doesn't mean that I know everything about heterosexuals or anything, because they're the majority. It's not the case at all. I've still got how I feel, and everyone and my girlfriend's different. I don't understand the whole sexual, like wanting sex, and I think that people have kind of disregarded that in the past. Because obviously we're the minority, so we're the one that people get confused about. So like I found it very interesting, and I've learned so much from this. And I think it wasn't really until this relationship formed, and when I was actually in this relationship, uh, until I actually found that like how big sex is in society, and how big of a thing it really, really is. Like I knew it, of course, but it didn't really become real, and I didn't really understand it until it was actually part of my life. Like until I had somebody in my life that I was close to, I had a relationship with, who desired this sort of thing. I didn't realize, like, it's like, wow, this is really real. This isn't a joke. Sex is a huge thing. And obviously, because I had a relationship and because we had alone time in here and stuff like that, I became part of conversations with friends and people around me, like asking, like what we got up to in the bedroom, and then like saying their experiences and what they do, for example, and like trying to compare. And it's just interesting hearing other people's things that I had never really heard before, and again realizing, wow, everyone wants this, huh? Everyone wants this so-called sex thing. And it's really made me see everything in a whole new light, because it is kept quite quiet, this whole idea about sex. And I suppose like when it's kept quiet, it's but yeah, everyone's thinking about it, that's fine. But when it's kept quiet, and like I have no idea what people are thinking, it's sort of like this big secret sort of thing that's kept from me, that everyone else understands because they like sex, for example. They're just, it's natural too. But because I'm not part of that secret, because I don't like sex, I don't understand. I'm not sure if that makes any sense at all. But I know I'm not alone, which is why I'm coming to YouTube to say about this. But yeah, I've got the most understanding and accepting girlfriend in the freaking world, in the sense that I'm not forced to do anything. I'm not. She don't get angry at me if we have to stop because of certain things. If I don't like to do certain things, she understands certain things. She doesn't, get annoyed or think, if I say I don't want to do that, she doesn't take it the wrong way. She understands it's just the way I am, and that's fantastic. And I've never had that before. So the fact that she is like that, I'm so, so grateful, and I'll never ever take that for granted. She's freaking amazing, and the memories I've formed with her, and I'm hoping the memories that we have in the future will be just as great, if not better, because we just do keep getting closer, and it's nice to have found someone like that. And as I say, I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that, because I didn't think that would ever be possible. So yeah, shout out to my girlfriend if she's watching. But honestly, like there's certain things that also like just won't make sense. They just don't make sense. And because I am the way that I am, it won't be the case for all asexuals, but because I'm a bit different, it can be perceived by Gemma, my girlfriend, as perhaps like she's done something wrong, or that perhaps like I don't want this relationship anymore, or I just don't want this to happen, sort of thing, or I don't want to be close to her because of how I respond to certain things and how I act, because I am a bit different from the norm. Like for example, like certain scenarios, sort of thing, I prefer like clothes being on, and like I'm more attracted to like somebody like a girl if they've still got like their bra on and like their pants on, for example, because I just don't like to be fair. It doesn't make much sense to a lot of sexual people, but I prefer that, and I just do. That's just the way that I am. But obviously, because it's normal to want, you know, girls or when people you're attracted to take their clothes off and stuff and find that attractive. Then it's obviously going to be perceived like, you know, is there something wrong with my private parts? Is there something wrong with that? Is it do you not like just like it? It's just like, no, it's not that at all. But I'll be the same with anyone. I just wouldn't want them to take their clothes off to that extent. You know, in certain scenarios, for example, and it it doesn't make sense to some people. It's a bit like, for example, if I think of an analogy, like say if I liked a banana, but instead of just peeling the skin like in the banana, I actually liked the banana with the skin on. Like I liked eating it like that. You know, people would accept that I liked the banana, but they would just be like, wait, the banana tastes way better if you take the skin off. Like, you know, peel the skin off and eat it like that. You'll much prefer it, but I won't. I know I won't. You know, I've tried it without the skin off, and it's not as nice. But that's not true. Like I do prefer bananas with without the skin. But for this metaphor and this analogy, I'm just going to use this. So you know, it just people just wouldn't understand the fact that I just don't like the clothes off, and that's annoying, and that's something that obviously it's quite hard to do. But again, that's nobody's fault. That's not my fault. It's not society's fault. You know, I'm not having a go at that. It's just a shame that I am a bit different in that sense. But as I say, Gem's very, very understanding about that, and I think it's very, very hard to be. So it's something I respect a lot. But it's something that, you know, I'm adapting to her being sexual as well, just as like she's being adapting to me not being sexual. Just because every relationship's sexual and therefore she has to adapt to this, I need to adapt as well. So it's hard. It's a hard process for both of us, but I think we make it work for sure, and I'm really grateful, really, really, really grateful that we do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, leave any questions in the comments as well about it, perhaps about asexuality, about being in a relationship like it. Feel free to send me a message or whatnot. Leave any comments about how you feel in this world, like if you are asexual or a minority sexuality, and then perhaps like certain analogies perhaps that have affected you personally. You know, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear your stories. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.